is Christy, and I worked with Ricky, and I just remember when I first met him, he was always dressed to the nines, to the point where you're like, dude, who are you? And it was so cute, and I just remember he came in mean mugging, and then you get to know him, and he is one of the kindest, big-hearted, fiercely loyal person that you could ever meet. And if you were scared by that mean mugging, you didn't deserve to know him. He was awesome. And just before he left back to New York City, he had stopped at my house and dropped off a bunch of Korean snacks for my kids. And of course my kids didn't get them because I ate them all. And, thanks, Ricky. And my 11-year-old was being bullied at school, and Ricky was just like, give me that number of that kid. And I'm like, nope, because I know what you're gonna do. And my 11-year-old had a chance to really get to know him, and after this picture, I've never seen my kids so happy to, one of my friends, he came in and said, he goes, I really like Ricky. His dark humor is just on point. And I'm like, I know, that's why I love him. Ricky worked in the California office, I worked in Nevada, and I had asked his friends if they wanted to send in anything, and so I wanted to read a couple of things. So, let me start. So Alex M. was an Arion colleague. He had lunch with Ricky at the end of July at the Hillsdale Mall food court. And then that's when Ricky told Alex he was moving to New York City. They both knew it was their last time meeting in the Bay Area, but Alex did not expect this. He is extremely saddened. Barry is a former Arion colleague, and he and Ricky met on Tuesday, August 31st. They had dinner, said goodbye, and he gave Ricky a ride back to his home. Barry said that anything that Barry asked for, even casually, Ricky found a way to get it for him, period. And then he submitted this. And it says, Ricky, my friend, rest in peace, for you deserve your share of it. Ricky, my friend, go in peace, for you have nothing more to fight against. Ricky, my friend, may you watch us all from wherever you are. Ricky, my friend, may you shower us all with gifts, as you often did. Ricky, my friend, accept our goodbyes and rest in peace with our Father, our Savior. On Wednesday, September 15th, Shushrit, who was a former Arion colleague, stated he was still very sad due to Ricky's untimely passing, and he asked me to read this note to Ricky. Ricochet is the top to be read. Thank you for your service to the nation, Ricky. I enjoyed you from my day one at Arion and working with you for years after. You will always be remembered and loved for your candid nature and all the good things you taught us that you learned through experience. Fly high, my friend. Miss you. And just a note on that candid nature, if you didn't know how Ricky felt, you just asked him, he'd tell you. And he was normally like, Ray, it was awesome. Ray, who was a coworker, Ricky's coworker at Arion, said, Ricky was a dear friend and I loved him very much. I will miss him and think about him always. Up on the slideshow, you saw where Ricky was sitting with family, with was Alex, who was his manager at Arion Technologies, and then his 4 kids. And the reason why Ricky was late to my house is because he had stopped by Alex's house and just spent time. And when I saw those pictures, it just warmed my heart. But Alex wrote something, and he said, Ricky was a coworker of mine for a number of years at Arion, and more importantly, a friend to me and my family. At the office, he was known for his hilarious stories, his interesting adventures through life, and his sometimes fiery personality. What I knew him for at work was being a person that never complained about what I needed done and always picked up whatever new skills we needed to get something accomplished. For his attitude and hard work, he earned my respect. What Ricky meant to me and my family was so much more than just a coworker, though. He was so generous, especially in these last few months after Arian wasn't there to bind us together anymore. I would try and meet up with him, but almost always had to bring at least a few kids along, and he was kind and gentle with them, played along and helped watch them, and had excellent gifts. He brought us a number of Korean foods to try, but when he learned that my picky American kids thought they were all too flavorful and mostly what they loved was cereal, the next time he just brought Lucky Charms and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. They were thrilled. He was always so generous. When he found that the chirp wheel for back support worked wonders for him, he just mailed me a set because he knew I had back pain and had had surgery. I used them almost every day. As he was clearing things out in California, he texted me to ask if I wanted a poker set. I said, sure. My 8-year-old son, Sean, had been asking how to play poker, so that was good timing. Little did I know it was a really nice, hardly used set that he gifted to us. We started a nightly poker game before bed as a fun family activity, and it made such an impression on my 6-year-old Patrick that for his daily news, he told his whole class about the poker set we got, and then Alex attached a sheet that showed what his son had written for school, and it just said in there that Patrick got a poker set from his dad's coworker. It was so cute. There are so many other thoughtful gifts and gestures over the years because that was just who Ricky was to me. I always said that I didn't do enough in return, and he always replied that I had done so much more that he could never repay me. I doubt it, but through his kindness, he earned the love of my whole family. Ricky, I am so grateful to have known you, and so thankful for all the good times we had, even at the end when I know things were really tough on you. You still thought of us and cared for us and brought us pizza from the best New York pizza place in the Bay Area. I pray you have found relief from all the suffering, and we think of you every time we play a game of family poker or eat a bowl of Lucky Charms. This is again written by Alex, the Executive Vice President of Arion Technologies. And he gave that to me last night. So, man, Ricky was my brother from another mother. And I'll just miss him dearly. But I am so grateful for the time that I had just prior to him going back to New York. And you know, one of the things that I have always, or that I have taken on is that I never leave anybody with anything unsaid. So if I can encourage all of you, just tell one another just how much you care about people, how much you love them, because man, I just, on his way out, I'm like, I love you, I love you. And I know that he was, when I first started saying that to him years ago, he was a little uncomfortable. But man, I just treasure every single moment I have with him. So I am extremely sorry. The silver lining is that I got to meet you though, and we are friends forever. So thank you.
Thank you.